So let's do a quick tutorial on how to do animation cleanup. So let's say that you've gotten this drawing from an animator. It's drawing D1 and they need a cleanup on it. So it looks like it's a dog wearing a collar. His mouth is open. He's looking down. He's pointing at whatever he's looking at. So you take a clean sheet of paper, put that down top of it on your pegs, turn on the bottom light, turn up this top light, turn out this top light. Now you can see it a little bit better through there. Now, what you could do is take your cleanup pencil of choice, the one you like. In my case, it's the Collie Race Light Blue. And start redrawing it, constructing it properly. And make sure all the construction is just right. You start with your big shapes. You can exaggerate certain things here and there. You lift up the page so you can see better. You put in little details that the animator didn't put in. If you can't quite see, you can turn on your light. And then you can see your drawing plus the one underneath it a little bit better. This is more or less the dog from the Preston Blair book. So you are now doing the proper construction of the character and making sure that everything works. Notice I draw right through that collar. You don't get hung up on that. And you can draw your skeletal stick figure right on through there. Little pieces of fur that come up from his elbow. Put in a light thing for that. And then start putting in his digits. Make the fingers the right length. So you are correcting the animator's drawings. Notice I lifted up his pinky a little bit more. Then you can put in the proper roundness for the collar at the right size. Go like that. Some shading in there. So now you've got all the basic in there. You can turn off your light. Now wherever your wherever your pencil has really made a dark, dark blue, you can take an eraser and just lightly, very lightly rub it. This is called rubbing down the drawing. And we used to use a kneaded eraser for this, but I didn't bring one into the studio today. So just rub it down and notice I can still see all of my lines. They didn't go away. But they're not as dark as they were. And rub all that off. Now you have a choice. You can either clean up on this sheet, or you can take a clean sheet and do your cleanup on that. So let's pick out a pencil. This Statler 2B is one of the ones that we used to use. And let's do parts of it with this. So I'm going to start here on the edge of his face. Come out like that. Now I can feel some of the hardness of the plastic from the light table, the tracing tablet through it. And I like cleaning up on a surface that's softer, so I can put more sheets of paper underneath, and now I've got a nice soft, surface to draw on. So you don't have to press too hard. So notice I go very light and then go back over it a couple of times. So that's with the 2B. Let's try a different one for more of the drawing. This one is a Kohinoor 5B. You don't have to press very hard with it, but I do try and get a dark line. Try and make the lines on the bottom of the form a little bit thicker than the lines on the top. So like this line on the bottom of his face, make that a little bit thicker coming down around here. Whereas the top line is not as thick. So let's make these a little bit thicker here. And the bottom of the ear, a little bit thicker there. So let's do the fur on top of the head. And then continue this line around here. Connect that one there. So let's do the mouth line. Comes around like this up here. And then his tongue. So that's a 5B. This one is a U-Trek. This is a 6B. And like I said, you don't have to press too hard. We just want to make sure that the drawing will photograph or photocopy with even lines. And let's get the body lines here. And I move kind of slowly because I want to get these nice smooth lines. Notice I'm making corrections as I go. So there it is, a cleanup drawing. And with the eyes, sometimes they would leave it just blue like this so that ink and paint can actually color in the eye. And same for the mouth, and ink and paint will just color that in. These pencils don't necessarily Xerox, so it was okay to use these light blue pencils for that. But there you have your drawing, and this is drawing D1, so don't forget to put the number there. And usually you would put the scene here, scene 1, and the production number would be here, the show number. So there is one way to do animation cleanup. Looks like I left a line out right there. If you were doing this for digital paint, you would have to make sure every line is connected, because if you didn't, when they would touch the pen to that space to be colored in, the digital paint would just leak out everywhere. So everything has to be all connected up if you're doing digital stuff. If you're doing cell painting, it doesn't have to. So always ask, what is the next step after I get finished with my drawings? What's the next step coming? Is it digital? Is it traditional? Find out. You have to ask these people what is going on. And that way you know more how to do your job. So we'll see you next time and do a different cleanup. In the meantime, keep drawing.